not real taste in music here, giving my thoughts on the new Freddie Gibbs album, mixtape, EP. I think it could be any of those, but I don't which one, I don't know. Freddie Gibbs is a gangster rapper who has one album under his belt that's definitely going to go down as a classic in the hip hop world. And that is, of course, Pinata, which came out in 2014, and it was a collab album with Madlib. An album I also love, will go down as one of my favourite hip hop albums of the decade for sure. Not sure where it'll rank, to be honest, but it's amazing. So it's going to be pretty high, and a lot of people absolutely love this album too. The production on this is world class. Like you just know that Madlib touches something, and it's going to be great. But this was one of the highlights of his career, in my opinion, in terms of beat selection and sample usage. It was just fantastic. And Freddie Gibbs, a rapper that I'm not really huge on, but I think the production helped him stand out more to me, in my opinion. I'm not really that invested in his style or his brand, to be honest. I know a lot of people are, but I think the subsequent releases since Pinata haven't really done much for me. I'm not trying to say that he needs Madlib to make great music, but it just isn't as good when Madlib isn't there, to me anyway. Obviously a lot of people love him, so don't take my opinion as fact. You know, I'm just kind of saying that his style of gangster life and sort of portraying it for the world to see doesn't really do much for me. That didn't stop me from being interested in Freddie though. I mean, this album cover was instantly like, holy shit, I've got to listen to this, man. Is this a funk album from the 70s? Like, holy shit, that album cover is so good. The album cover really got me good. I thought we were going to get a completely different Freddie on this new release. We didn't though, but actually the results are really good anyway. The first 3 tracks are fucking great. Like, holy shit, the beats on these tracks are unreal. Like, I kind of wish he kept it up for the whole length of this album, because it would never have gotten boring if they were all like bassy and heavy like these 3 tracks were, because it's not long enough for it to get boring. The 25-minute runtime is actually really perfect for Freddie to carry on this bassy, heavy, distorted beat sound, because again, it's short and it would have been snappy and you would never have lost interest. And even though the content on these first 3 songs isn't that exciting to me, I still think they're friggin' great. I really don't know why he references getting his dick sucked so many times on these 3 tracks. But, you know, if the beats are this good, I don't really care. I'm really surprised at how hard-hitting these tracks are. Like, Jesus Christ, the bass is throttling on these songs. Like, holy shit, I don't know how the producer of these beats was able to craft something this heavy but also enjoyable. Like, Jesus Christ, honestly, some of the best beats I've heard all year. Like, I would go as far as saying that they're that good. But yeah, like I say, it kind of gets a little tamer as the project goes on. Although I must admit, like, even a track like Too Legit, which is a bit softer, but the beat's still actually really good. And Freddie's flow on this one is really nice. Like, it's really melodic and catchy. Like, I think he's really good at giving those kind of like short bursts of catchy flows while still keeping you like hooked on what he might be saying. Although, if I'm being completely honest, like, I'm not that bothered about the gangster image. Like I said, I mean, the first few songs, even though he's still talking about that same thing, it kind of takes me out of it because of how good the production is. But when the production is not quite as amazing, it's just not as interesting to me. Kind of similar to Daytona for me. Like, the content stayed pretty one note throughout, and I just didn't really get grabbed by much of the lyricism. And lyrics are so important in hip hop, and I just feel like when you keep things so restricted to one type of lyrical theme that doesn't really have that much capacity, to be honest. It's very different to films and TV, you know? Like, you could have a gangster type story in a film or a TV, and there's so much you can like dissect from it. Like, there's so much that you can take away, there's so many angles to look at things, there's so many different stories that you could come up with. Whereas, like, in a song, like, what's really to be said? Like, I just don't really think there's much to be said in that kind of art form. But luckily though, I think Freddie Gibbs manages to pull out some really good hooks, especially on Triple Threat. Stay in your lane. Like, the choruses on some of these tracks are really good. Like, I'm really impressed that Freddie can sing so well. Obviously he's done this before, like in the past he has sung hooks and done them really well, but I think he should be praised on the fact that he actually sounds really good. Like, there aren't many rappers out there that can do both, you know? There are some, yeah, but like, as well as Freddie, I don't think many reach him. But I really like how he can throw in some guest features on the closing track, Diamonds 2, and they add a nice change of pace to the rest of the album and still manage to fit into the tracks so well and do fantastic singing. Like, the variety of ideas thrown onto this project is really quite impressive considering how short it is. Like, I must commend Freddie Gibbs and the production team here, because it's pretty hard to do that, I think, to keep things changing paces constantly and constantly adding new elements and still being really good. So yeah, overall I do really quite like this project from Freddie Gibbs. I mean, prior to this release I probably would have told you that yeah, he's good, but I don't have that much investment in what he tells us a lot of the time in his songs. And here though, he's thrown in some different production ideas that I think stand out really well and work really well. So yeah, I'm going C+ on this one. Really solid release from Freddie Gibbs. I wonder if that second album with Madlib is ever going to come. I don't know, I just don't know if it will, but maybe this is to just kind of tie us over until that eventually does come out, but we'll have to see. Let me know your thoughts on this Freddie album, EP, mixtape from Freddie Gibbs in the comments. Subscribe to the channel for more reviews if you enjoyed this, and yeah, have a good day. Have a good day.